What's up, nerds? Hey, do I want a beer, or do I want a bourbon tonight? I'm gonna need an answer to that, like, right away. Come on. Come on. Beer? No. You want a pink mist? I already had one. I might have a heart attack. No, I already had that. Beer. Bourbon. Beer. Bourbon. Bourbon. Beer. Bourbon. Bourbon. Have both. Poll? You want to do a poll? I want to do a poll. That's going to delay how long before I get to have my beer or my bourbon. Woodford Reserve? I don't have any Woodford. I'm going to have a bourbon. I might end up knee deep in a beer by the end of it anyway, so whatever. What's up? How y'all doing? What are you doing? Yeah, I know. Give me a second. Hi. Hello, friends. Why can't I hear the music? Oh, okay. What's up? Bourbon glass. Boilermaker. I feel like you already made your decision before you asked. I did. Yeah, I knew what I wanted. I've just been trying to not drink this bottle too fast because it was selected for me. So I need to like reach out to Taylor. And I mean, I don't drink it fast. I shouldn't put it that way. Whatever. Oh, guys, we're on short time for the trip, and I'm starting to get real nervous. I have shit all over the basement right now. There's stuff everywhere down here, and I don't know where I'm going to put it all. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I decided, so funny story. I decided to update my duffel. So all of my duffels are my old, like, multiple, like, decade plus old military duffels that I deployed with. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a nice travel duffel. I've been doing a little bit of travel lately, but I didn't want the biggest one. I wanted like the slightly smaller one. So I got the Atlas from Eberly Stock. Well, it turns out that I am the gear mule, and I have to take all the ammo. I have to bring everybody's tripods. I have to bring a bunch of these, which are the trigger cameras that go on the scope. Again, the goal is to go out here and absolutely get a ton of footage and really be able to showcase what Rob's doing. Rob is a hell of a shooter, man, and I'm really excited about it. But now I might have to use one of my old duffel bags because I don't have enough room for all this shit. Take the truck and drive the 30 hours with everything? No, I just drove all the way out to Colorado. I don't feel like driving all the way out there. That's far, man. Because you're young and spry. I don't feel young and spry. I got beat up real bad on Wednesday, man. Dude, I got worked. It was sparring day Wednesday. I got hit in the ribs again. Oh man. I end up in there with like the 145. I'm 178 to 180 pounds. And my coach is a 145er, and he just tunes me up every time we get in there. But the guy that got me in the ribs, he's a 218-pound pro. I think he's currently 3-0. So, I mean, I'll take it. I survived. I just... kicking my ass. Why are you yelling at me, Jor? Nice gear you've got there. That's not my gear. It's the company gear. It's company gear, not mine. We'll be up in Calgary, Miss Alex. Proper whiskey glass? Yeah. Yeah. I forget what it's called. Is Bourbon Wrench in here? Sometimes they're in here. It's their glass. They sent it to me. We need a Panasonic Funker shirt after the towel. I didn't even notice that. I don't know how I didn't notice that. I was so focused on the machine gun. Why the fuck was he wearing Panasonics? And it was hilarious to me that somebody was like, "This is a good video." Like, bro, did we watch the same thing? I don't care who it is. If it's dumb, it's dumb. That was the dumbest shit ever. Please do hit the like button. It's a free and easy way to support the stream. We'll probably play games at some point, but I'd rather just like hang out and talk for a little bit. Just bought season 1 of The Proof is out there on Amazon Prime. I'm going to impress my wife by telling her I once saw this famous man's feet. It's so cool. That was such a cool experience, man. I mean, I'll tell you guys outright, they didn't renew the show. But I think it wasn't because of their quality. They actually loved it. The problem is we were competing against other shows that are already doing okay, and we couldn't get enough people to watch live. They said from a streaming perspective, it did fantastic. But ultimately, it's all about people watching live. So it was a cool experience. I'm super excited I got a chance to do it and meet Rudy. And Rudy is now a very, very close friend of mine. But hey, I told you it was always forward anyway, no matter what happened with that. Glenn Cairn. Yeah, that's what it is. When are you signing up for World Freak Fight League so you can fight someone Eddie Hall with someone else? I don't want to fucking anything. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to fight anybody. That sucks. No, it's cool, man. I'm good. Not an issue. It was an uphill fight in the first place. I am very happy with what we put out. I thought it was super interesting. I think there's something in that show for everybody. And now, luckily, I don't have to balance priorities. Right? So you'll notice a more regular return to the streams. You'll notice a little bit more focus on that. Balancing those priorities along with my 9-to-5 work was difficult to do. Did you see that fight, the one with Eddie Hall? Yeah, and he beat the shit out of those like two shorter dudes. I think if that's the one I'm thinking of. Hey, Sabine, it's good to see you. I liked it. Hell yeah, man. What's your 9-to-5 work? Funker. Like, I have a Funker 9-to-5 employment. That's not the stream guy. I am not the stream guy at Funker. That's just something I do for us. I manage all of our relationships. So all of our partnerships. Any industry partnership, any creator partnership, there's a reason that I do all the face work. Right? That's my job at Funker. And it is a 9-to-5 job. That's a port wine glass. This is a Glencairn. Is there a difference between a port wine glass and a Glencairn? I don't know. But it was sent to me, and each time I've gone out with like bourbon connoisseur people, I just like bourbon. They give me the same one. So streaming just for a hobby. This stream is actually primarily for charity. So you see that number down there in the bottom right, left? Oof. That is the Fit PC goal. So we have so far done $65,000 worth of custom gaming PCs that once we hit that goal, I buy a PC and I ship that to stackup.org. Stackup.org then takes that PC and ships it off to a veteran that needs a breakaway from life. Been doing that now since 2020. I don't know, 2020, something like that. And that's primarily what this stream is for. Also because I like all of you very much. The Funker stream is very much so an attempt for us to connect with people. 100%. That's what that's for. That is entirely what that's for. Now, I think it provides value, and that's why I continue to try to do it. But we do really want to put more ass behind the podcast for the deeper discussions. So the discussion that we did with Wayne is actually something. So podcast episode 1, there's this new like Twitter account that's starting to go viral, sharing some quite old footage that is finding a new audience. And that's great because it's good footage, but it's doing so devoid of certain important pieces of context. And one of the pieces of footage that it recently shared was footage from Chosen Company and their fight in Pervomaisk. Well, Operation Shovel, just outside of Pervo. We had one of the Chosen Company members here in the studio, in that room with me. What is on my fucking shirt? What is that? Is that yogurt? And it just showed me how much additional value being able to tell the story behind some of these, what will eventually be iconic pieces of combat footage. It showed me how much value that could end up being. The same thing if Chuck's footage ever surfaces again of him getting shot 3 times by a PKM. We had Chuck in here. You know, Sergeant Major Chuck Ritter. Awesome dude, by the way. Awesome dude. Copycat, what? Oh, wow, nice. Huh. The Funker Live is pretty great. You do a great job with that. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I would love to, I might have an opportunity to have a regular co-host. Somebody potentially outside of the military community. I don't know. I haven't really approached him yet, but he's in close proximity, is a prominent figure on another show. And I think it will be super interesting to get a non-military figure, somebody that isn't in this same line of work. Because combat footage is actually a part of my military career at one point. I think it would be super interesting to have that contrast. I don't want to leak too much on that, but there might be an opportunity there for a regular co-host. There's a lot of growth that can happen, you know, which is going to provide a lot of context and value. Nothing's perfect. Everything can be improved. I kind of like base my life around it, but may I ask where you were stationed abroad? Both of my deployments were to Kabul, or no, excuse me, to Afghanistan. So my first deployment was to Kabul. I was at Camp Eggers. And then my second deployment was primarily Bagram with trips to Jalalabad. How do I donate again? ! Donate. Can you say who it is? No, because I haven't talked to them about it. I haven't talked to them about it at all. But the timing would work out too. It wouldn't be like every time, but I just think it would provide a whole lot of value. Because again, you would have my perspective, which is a very strategic military perspective on things, right? And that's what I loved about the balance with Rudy and I on the Proof is Out There on Military Mysteries is, you know, I spent my time in decision-making centers, right? So when we talk about stuff like the Nusrat raid and the decision to start dropping bombs in civilian populated areas to ultimately for force protection purposes, I have been there when we've had to come to that conclusion. The specific raid that I'm thinking of, I was attached to Ranger, and they inserted onto, well, first of all of their insertions were like 10K off target. So they made their way to this compound where the objective was, which was a person. Thanks for the tip. 20 to the Fit PC. Yes. Thank you so much. Up to 1340 out of 2100. Where was I? So decision-making centers, right? So Ranger inserted, made their way to the ORP and then eventually to the objective area. And the objective was an individual. They were trying to kill or capture a dude that was there. Well, he and his boys, the objective, the bad guy, had barricaded in a multi-story like mud hut kind of deal. And what ultimately ended up happening, barricaded shooters, terrible thing to have to deal with. What ultimately ended up happening is a mass casualty situation on the Ranger side, because again, they brought along the Kitehas, which were Afghan commandos. They just continued trying to get to this building to clear it, and the barricaded shooter just had a spot perfect. They tried hitting the building multiple times with Carl G, with the Gustav. It did not take down this mud hut. I don't know what it was fucking made of. But at the end of the day, they were like, hey, I remember the strike force calling up over the radio. The captain that was on the ground, the commander of the strike force, was calling up to the regimental commanding officer and was like, I need a hellfire on this building. They wouldn't approve it. They wouldn't approve it because ISR Soak, the drone that had been hovering over top of it for the longest time, knew that there were women and children inside that building as well. Now, as an eventuality, so this is what I say. I've been a part of that decision-making conversation before, right? I've been there when that decision had to be identified. As an eventuality, they did drop hellfire on that, and it just blew the whole fucking place up. The women and children left it, right? Now, subject to the situation on the ground, had that team not had a safe casualty collection point, for example, or if they were being overrun, you bet your ass we would have put a hellfire on that building. That's the kind of situation that Israel found themselves in Nuseirat. They found themselves unable to extract, bogged down by fire. Team leader was killed, and they had to go weapons free in that area, right? So, when I go back to kind of expertise, I don't have the same kind of expertise as your standard infantryman or your special operator. But I have been in those decision-making centers. I have an intelligence background, a deception background. And I think that having somebody outside of, regardless of if it's infantry or otherwise, somebody entirely separated from that to provide their thoughts, that can speak articulately. I'm not saying that I can. I have my own problems. But I've just got an idea. And I really hope that it works out, because it would be super cool. I think it would add a ton of value. Human shields effectively. Yeah. Danube. Fuck you, by the way. Danube. Danube. When will that go away? When can I get away from the Danube thing? It's bullshit. I actually might have a Twitter message from that person. Let me see here. Civilian's point of view? Yeah, sure. Yeah, but not somebody that's not a rando, right? I mean, somebody that has an opinion, that is not afraid to share their opinion, that's very overt about it. I think that provides a lot of value. And we're close enough. And we're close enough inside of an hour from each other. I'm just scrolling back through the chat. Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking. No, I can't hear. I don't think they can hear the dogs barking. The beer in the fridge. I didn't know what it was. I thought we were being robbed. It was like a big crashing noise. I was like, "What is that?" Just putting beer in the fridge. Oh, never mind. Keep doing that. Yeah, I was out of beer entirely. Sorry, I'm just a no. There's no. But see, that's the thing is when I look at footage, I have that military lens in my brain at all times. At all times. I mean, the military is still such a small part of even my career. Like, I have a whole other side of my career that was a part of the intelligence community. I have 12 years in the intelligence community. That's all on my website. It's very open. I'm very open about my career. But most of the time when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at it through that lens. Not necessarily through a non-military associated lens, because even your time in the intelligence, when you're with the three letters and stuff like that, you're still looking at it through the same lens. It is what it is. The opposite of Rob. Man, Jesus! 100 to the 5th PC. Why is this so quiet?
You know, Riding in my bed, you really have to see it. 6 feet
Oh.
in a compact. No spot.
For the gamers.
My. Oh, I think my shit's breaking. Hold on. All right, so I run a noise isolator on my headphones to keep the hum down. When you have a lot of cabling and shit, the cabling's actually kind of complex here. When you have a lot of cabling and stuff, you can get this hum in your headphones. And I'm an absolute gamer. Let me put it that way. So the hum is distracting. But 100 to the Fit PC. We're up to 1440 out of 2100. By the way, I don't do this enough, and I should, because he's been very, very supportive of us. I need to talk about fucking Stince. And we're going to talk about Stince for a second, and you're going to watch his video and you're going to like it.
Ready to ship right now over on StinceBuilt.com. First off, we got everything you want from black, white. What's up, guys? Jeff here with StinceBuilt. We got some amazing PCs that are ready to ship right now over on StinceBuilt.com. First off, we got everything you want from black, white, all the RGB. We've even got wood paneled PCs over there ready to ship. Special financing, everything available over on StinceBuilt.com. We have over 9 PCs ready to ship. We're leaders in ultimate performance when it comes to gaming PCs. If you got something more custom, make sure to get over to our Let's Build page, shipping out PCs in little as a week. If you want something custom, click on that ready to ship and get it shipped out as soon as today, or worst case, get it out tomorrow.
So here's the deal. Stince has probably done about 45 grand worth of the PCs that we've done to charity, but it has probably cost him 50 grand, right? Worth of like equipment. So we've paid probably about $45,000. I have the exact number. I just don't feel like pulling up the spreadsheet, but he just upgrades the PCs out of pocket for us that are going to veteran charity. This is a dude that if you're looking for a PC, you need to, StinceBuilt is where you need to go. When I have like an affiliate relationship of some kind, that means that I've met with these people. It's the same thing that I do with our Funker relationships. I've met with them. I like them. I like their values. In some cases, I like their politics. I don't talk about my politics a lot. It's typically around guns, just so you know. But it means that I really, truly believe in what they're doing. It is. Stince is the person to go to if you need a PC. I have codes. It pays me. Well, sort of. It doesn't really pay me. It kind of goes back to Stince to kind of repay all the stuff that he's done for me. So technically, it still does support me. RonnieFit is the code, or FitLocker. Both of those work. Gets you a ton of money off of a PC. Bump stocks though, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm glad. They should have never been banned in the first place. You can thank Trump for that. Yeah, you can thank Trump for that. Trump and the NRA. I love it. I love it when people say, you know, to me like, fuck the NRA. I'm like, yes. Yeah. I was a member of the NRA one time. I had like the main one, like the big one. I canceled that shit. The whole red versus blue nonsense is fucking old. Yes, it is. Stop putting me in some stupid box. I don't care about your boxes. I don't. If you want to support an organization that's actually out there fighting for you, both from a political perspective and from a grassroots perspective, it's important to do both, right? We still have we still have a need for lobbyists, right? I don't think people truly understand the necessity of attacking the political situation. And there are organizations out there that take a very bottom-up approach, and that's cool. There are organizations, the NRA specifically, that take a very top-down approach, right? You got to do both. You got to do both. National Association for Gun Rights. That's who gets my money. They do. FPC also gets my money, just less of it. I really appreciate that you keep the political talk at zero. Even people prod you and try to get you to talk shit about one politician or another. Keep that up. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I just don't care. Right? It's not something that I focus on. I don't personally spend my time like hyper focused on what makes me angry. I try to actually spend my time hyper focused on the things that make me happy.
What's up, guys? Jeff here with StinceBuilt. We got some
Jeff. Random video started again there. I have a lot of Twitter notifications. I'll get through those later. GOA also. I have limited exposure to GOA. So I can't really... there's a lot of people that I know that I trust very much that are big fans of GOA. I just haven't spoken with them or researched them myself. So a lot of scared you? Yeah, it scared shit out of me too. I get you probably fancy chilled, more arcade games on stream, but you ever fancy giving DCS a go? Yeah. Fuck yeah. I've never been backseat driven more in my life. In my defense. So here's the DCS story. Funker got me into it. So Funker was a big DCS guy at one point. Like I have like an X56 HOTAS somewhere around here. I tried. I got into it for a little bit, but I've never been backseat driven more. A close second is War Thunder. There's a reason I'm not playing it yet. A close second is War Thunder. Nothing but power up, Ronnie. Power down, Ronnie. Not enough G's, Ronnie. Too much G's, Ronnie. Flip the LMFAO switch, Ronnie. Like, bro, I don't even know how to start the jet. All right? I don't. I just want to point at something and shoot it. But Funker came in the chat one night and was like, I bet you can't land on an aircraft carrier. And I said, okay. And I did know what I was doing. I looked up the keybind to drop the landing gear. That's the only thing I knew. And I was like, I'm going to get this first shot. And I did. And I've never tried it since. I don't think I've played since. I think I landed first try on the aircraft carrier. And I don't think I've played it since then. It's kind of like my mic drop moment. The only one I'll ever have. That's it. What were you flying? I don't remember. I think FA-18. Yeah. But yeah, no. I just can't do the whole, like, it's just too much. By the time I get to hang out over here and potentially play games, it's got to be something that's mind-numbingly easy. Like, if we could play Dynasty Warriors or something, and I could just use, you know, what was his name? Liu Bei, and just swing his fucking staff around and kill a bunch of stuff over and over again, that's what I'd do. By the time I get to the stream after working all of the Funker work all day, after working the Funker stream all day, you know, doing my best to dad, it's just, I don't want to think too much about what I'm playing. That's why I stopped playing Escape from Tarkov. Blue Boo. That's what it was. Funker and I would do merges late into the night on DCS. He said I was the most confusing and off-the-wall F-16 pilot. Yeah, well, one of the other reasons I stopped was actually because of him. Like, he and I played a couple times off stream, and he gave me some pointers and was like, "You're good now." And I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "I'm going to take you into the guns server." What does that mean? The dude just used me as bait the whole time. He'd be like, "Okay, fly at this heading." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, okay, yeah, cool. I'm on that heading." And he's like, "Okay, good. Just keep going." And then some dude would start following me, and he'd say, "Okay, bank left." I'm like, "Okay, bank left." And then he'd let me die and then kill the other guy. That's how my DCS experience went. And I'm done with it. Tarkov's very sweaty. I've got like 4,100 hours in Tarkov. Tarkov's the only game that I played for years, man. That's it. I love the gun. I love gunplay in Tarkov. There's still not a game that has done gunplay quite like Tarkov. The highs in Tarkov are higher than anything ever. The lows are lower than anything ever. And it's just that good of a game. The problem that I have with it at this point is the stress surrounding it. I can't manage my stash anymore. I can't grind it. I can't do the same missions over and over again. I just can't. I can't. I'd rather play Squad. I'd rather play War Thunder. You ever played Ground Branch? A couple times. I played Ready or Not as well. Tarkov picked up a serious update to the other day. Pretty sweet changes to armor. Yeah, I saw. I still do track a lot of the Tarkov stuff. A lot of my friends that still stream play Tarkov. I'll get back on it eventually. I don't know if like Velian wants to play or something again. I'd be happy to play with him. I'm just gonna clown the whole time though, like with a Taz shotgun or something, a bolt action. Have you played Armor Reforger? Yeah. Yep, sure have, man. DayZ, I've played a couple hours of DayZ and wasn't a big fan of it. Again, you know, the games, I don't have a lot of time to game anymore. That's why I only play twice a week now. And even the nights that I play is like this. Like we chat for a little while and then I might decide eventually to play a game or two. I don't even know if I'm going to get there tonight. I don't know.
What to do?
Quiet again. Why is it quiet? I don't know why it's quiet.
What to do?
Now it's loud. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Unplug all my shit. Just blow on it. I got enough of these noise isolators if one's going bad. You just pick up that sexy thing laying on the ground. That right there? Oh, you don't want to see that. I actually can't pick it up. Yeah, thanks, YouTube. YouTube's rules are even worse. They're even worse now. They're worse now than they've ever been. You know, I mean, for a little while I was running the gun channel, and it started doing pretty good. You know, it got up to like 5,000 subscribers or so, something like that. If that's how you measure good, I thought it was just fine. You know, I don't measure success based on how many people people measure their dicks with like their follower counts. I think it's hilarious. Like that's not your gauge for your value in the world to the world. It's also why I have no idea how many people watching the stream right now. Anyway, I was doing a gun channel for a little while, and I kind of just slowly stopped doing content on it. It doesn't make sense to continue doing. Right? It's a time sink, and it's from a value add perspective. I don't know that it's there. I don't. I'd rather use Twitter to interact directly, to upload short clips of me doing stuff, you know, learning new things, training, you know, the same stuff that I would otherwise do longer form content. I'd rather just do it quicker, easier on Twitter.
6 minutes!
Are you going to go on the Culture War podcast? Yeah, we're supposedly working on scheduling. I talked to the producer. I don't remember her name. Lisa. We're trying to figure out when it works. They only film on a certain day. Yeah, sure. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Like, what do you want to, like, what are we going to cover? You know, I'm not an expert on anything that I talk about. You know what I mean? Like, so if there's an I've always wondered, like, what value I would bring to a show like that. I don't know what that would be. I'm not an expert on the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, in Gaza, the war in Myanmar. I'm not an expert on any. I don't claim to be. So I don't know what value I'm going to end up bringing to that. But, you know, Tim commented on something. Well, I commented on something of Tim's. So here's how that played out. Tim shared something. He shared a video of Chosen Company and was like, this sounds like American accents. And I was like, well, he said North American. And I was like, yeah, well, it is, because that's Chosen Company. Here's a guy that we had on our podcast that provides some of his insight to this operation. And there were a bunch of folks that were like, go on his podcast, Tim, have him on. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Well, and he eventually saw it, I guess, and was like, come on the Culture War. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know what that was. It's nothing against anybody. I don't watch any shows. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't know that I have time to. So I had to actually reach out to Mosen and was like, you know, what is this? You know, I'm happy to do it. I'll have a discussion with anybody. I think about things the way I think about them, and you shouldn't be afraid to share how you think about things. I didn't know what it was. I know who he is, but I'm happy to go on. I just don't know what value I'm going to bring to that. Tim's not an expert on anything, but many watches podcast. Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. Happy to come on and just chat about stuff. You know, if it's going to be like specific topic oriented, I'm not going to have the fidelity on it. I don't claim to have it. I don't want to. I don't want to. That's the thing. I don't want to specialize in anything that I do. Not even close. I don't ever want to get close to being a specialist in anything. I actually treated my cyber career that way as well. I went down a couple tracks. I almost became a forensic examiner. I almost became an ethical hacker, and realized I don't want to do any of that. There's an old saying that a lot of people get mixed up. It's called, it goes, a jack of all trades, but a master of none. And most people stop it there. But the actual saying is, a jack of all trades, but a master of none is oftentimes better than a master of one. And what they're saying is something akin to the way I've kind of treated my career, which is I can speak to a little about a lot, but not a lot about any one thing. You see my forehead? Wow. Look at that shit. What a piece of junk. You made it big time, Ronnie? We've always been big time, big dog. That's a matter of perspective. See some thigh? You likey? Oh, very nice. Yeah. Look at them quads. I actively work to improve my physical appearance. Very nice. How much? I like you. I failed a 300 front squat. I can't front squat 300. My best squat was a 330. That's my best squat ever. And that would have been a couple years ago. I don't squat as heavy anymore. So I'll still rep out 275. I don't fuck with the wheels anymore, man. I'm not lifting like that anymore. I don't even flat bench with a barbell at all. I did a couple days ago actually. And I only went up to 200. My best bench was 275. I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'10", 185. I don't lift for a whole lot of raw strength. I lift a little bit more for function. I box for most of it now. I'm leaner than I've ever been. I'm probably somewhere between 9 and 11% body fat right now. Flat bench is horrible. Yeah, it's bad for you. I actually stopped flat benching when I tore my labrum. That's when I stopped flat benching, which hasn't been long, but it's still torn. Like I can't throw a very good left hook right now because I can't get my elbow. Like I can't get my elbow to go. Oh, it's kind of feeling good. Oh no, yeah, there it is. It kind of stops at a certain point. But when you have a torn labrum, there's going to be certain movements that are easy. Like all of this is fine, but getting the elbow past a certain point and rotating it forward is what stops it. So right now I'm kind of waiting on treatment for that. Feet pick calendar win. Dude, I could braid the hair on my feet. Like, I don't think that's the thing that people want. I just don't think you're going to be into it. You tore your rotator cuff? I used to have to get, so when I first started trying to lose weight, I was heavy. I was 260. Most of you guys know this. When I first started trying to lose weight, way back in high school, I was on the lifting team, so I knew all my power lifts, all of that stuff. And I went way too hard. Way too hard. I was cleaning, and I was heavy at the time, like 245, 250 or so. I had already lost a little bit of weight. My first deployment, I lost about 10 pounds, just running, which is finite. You can't run forever. You eventually will have to do some kind of resistance training. Cardio is not the best way to lose weight. But I went hard. I started doing a lot of Olympic lifts, a lot of powerlifting type stuff. And I really fucked both of my shoulders up doing that. And I had to get the cortisol, quarter something shots in both shoulders. And that was bad. Like, it was bad. They eventually kind of healed themselves over time, and things were fine until about 7 or 8 months ago. I was rolling doing BJJ, and God damn it, this might as well be a ping pong accident. Most BJJ, you open up with shrimps and rolls. So you shrimp to warm up, and then you roll to warm up. And I went to roll, and I just kind of went straight down on my shoulder, just smashed my shoulder into the ground. And ever since then, I can't rotate my arm a certain direction. It's feeling okay today. I actually don't know why it's feeling better than normal. Like, if the missus is watching, she's probably amazed right now. Like, that feels pretty good. It's starting to hurt. Oh, there it is. Fuck. And then I tweaked it again doing the ACFT, the hand release push-ups. Those suck. Yeah, them Joe Rogan legs. I actually have my legs are proportionate. You know, they're not huge. I don't want them to be. I don't train to have big legs. I train to have functional legs, right? Like, everybody looks at legs and they're like, you need to do leg day. I'm like, bro, I do a lot of leg day. I do a lot of leg days, but my leg days aren't about me having bigger legs. They're about me being able to move my body when I need to. Found it? Yeah, I found it. Yeah, it hurts now. Yeah, I felt that. Does it click? No. A torn labrum won't click. Shouldn't click. I mean, it might click for other reasons, but that's not really what it would be. But I forgot. I didn't tweet today's workout. But something I've been doing that I kind of avoided doing for a long time. I'll show you guys for those that aren't following on Twitter. I've been sharing some insight on my workouts lately. Like, this was sparring day yesterday. That's Cody. No, that was, there's Tim and the whole culture war thing. And then sharing just like a few little tips every day. So reverse grip push-ups are actually really, really good for a warm-up, like a tricep warm-up. This is something that I've been trying to do a little bit more, but I actually share my full workouts too. I'm a proponent of hitting everything multiple times a week rather than the old body weight split or body part splits. Those were built and designed around dudes that were on gear in bodybuilding. So the bodybuilders of old, they would do total body workouts almost every day. And the reason it shifted, and there's no problem. Yeah, I think everybody should be on test. Like, I absolutely do, especially if you're 30 plus. If you're 30 plus and you're not on test, I'm not, but I'd like to be. You should consider it. So this is not me saying there's any problem with that, but I've never been on it. I'm a natural lifter. The body weight splits. So when you think about chest day, back day, leg day, that stuff is meant for people that are supplemented by gear in some way. Just something, right? That they are boosted in some way. Because it allows them to work a specific muscle group beyond the normal capacity of what you would normally be able to do, right? So think of a chest day. If you are boosted in some way, you are going to be able to push that muscle group beyond its normal capacity if you are a natural lifter. As a natural lifter, you are setting yourself back by not getting that same amount of volume over the course of a week, for example. So I'm a big fan of something closer to total body almost every day. So almost every day I'm hitting legs, almost every day I'm hitting chest, almost every day I'm hitting back, and almost every day I'm hitting cardio. I might take 1 to 2 rest days a week. Now, not everybody has that time, right? But that's going to be all the more reason for you to do total body workouts if you can only work out 3 or 4 times a week. This is not coming from a basis of expertise from a certification standpoint. We have this weird idea that knowledge and expertise comes from certification, comes from third-party approval of the criteria that they choose is necessary for you to be able to talk about things. This comes from me being 260 pounds, getting down to 158 pounds, and then getting back up while still staying within 9 to 11% body fat to 185 pounds, right? There's a lot that you have to learn to be able to do that. And I avoided this talking too much about fitness for so long because I didn't want people to think that it was like bro science. Like there's a lot of thought that goes into this. Josh and I talk a lot right now because Josh is trying to lose a little bit of weight. Josh got banged up pretty bad in war. And you know, what ends up happening with that is to give your body rest over time to heal, you gain weight. So Josh is trying to get back now that he's able to handle some stuff. So I'm offloading a lot of this to him as well. He's a tank. Josh is a big guy. And getting it every day. He's rucking to and from work. He's still lifting. Anybody can do it, right? If you can move, you can work out, right? I'm not a doctor. So consult your physician. One thing that fucking drives me crazy, though, is when the physician walks in and they are clearly obese. Like, I get it. I was fat. So I get it. I like cake, too. I had cake last night. It's awesome. But how are you consulting me on my nutrition? Why does that make sense? Make it make sense. I have a medical condition. No. Is that medical condition related to your obesity? Because a lot of them are. I don't know. I don't want to get... I don't care if I make you angry or something. I'm not afraid to hurt your feelings, but too many diseases that people deal with are caused by obesity, and then the disease is used as an excuse to not handle the obesity. If you want to build, rest is important, though. Sure, yeah. Rest is absolutely important, but you manage the amount of rest that you need based on the intensity and the volume, right? So as your body becomes more and more able to work, you're going to be able to manage the intensity and the volume to a point to where my body's rested by tomorrow. By tomorrow, I'm going to want to lift again. I have just worked my body to a point. If I don't lift tomorrow or Sunday, I'm going to feel like a piece of shit. I actually probably won't lift tomorrow. I'm probably going to go up to a range to take that out to the 1,000 plus. I need to do a little bit more testing and load development on the KDEX because, oh my God, dude. I historically, I have shot 140 grain out of it, and I've only had it for 3 or 4 months now, so I don't have a ton of rounds through it, but I've almost exclusively shot 140 grain 6.5 Creedmoor out of it. Specifically, 140 grain ELD match, so extreme long distance match, or boat tail hollow points, both match loads. BTHPs shoot sub half minute. That is very, very accurate. I tried 147 grains both yesterday and Wednesday, and it shot like shit. Like, it shot bad. Like, not good. Close to a minute, which is good. That's fine, but not for that rifle. That is the one of the best rifles that I own. That thing is a precision platform. I mean, you're hitting nose hairs with that. So shooting a minute of angle is not good. What I need to know and what I need to spend more time figuring out is I'm gonna run 140s back through it. All right. Since I grouped that last, I've done a chassis change and I've done an optics change. I need to know if one of those things has fucked something up. Cleaned it? Yeah. Well, yes and no. I don't clean my precision rifle chambers very heavily. What I do is I run a bore snake through the barrel. That's it. So the fouling in the chamber, to a certain extent, can actually, if I understand correctly, can actually help. Right? Heavy cleaning. You ever wonder why when you first get a rifle, it doesn't shoot as well as, I don't know, after a couple hundred rounds? Well, for one reason, the barrel speeds up. It does. I have data to prove that. I have a Garmin chronograph that shows me data at 50 rounds and data at 150 rounds, and the 150 rounds is much faster. But what you also, it's break-in, right? So it's kind of like a vehicle. So the longer you have a vehicle up to a certain point, it'll plateau, and then it'll eventually dive. It gets better and better gas mileage, and then it'll plateau as the vehicle settles in. Same thing with a rifle. So I don't clean the chamber a whole lot heavily. I'll wipe it out. The barrel I keep pretty clean, though. A lot of people don't realize how much just cleaning your weapon can change the outcome of your shots. Sure. Is it an HK? No, it's a KDEX. Here, I have a details thread on it. So here is some footage just yesterday or the day before. Running some 147s through it. And you can kind of see on my face after the shot that I'm not really happy with where that landed. But the rifle is here. So this is my KDEX. It's got, I took the KDEX stock off, or the chassis off of it. I have a KRG with a couple modifications to it. First of all, the trigger shoe on the KDEX is a little bit long, so the KRG guys themselves actually milled out the trigger well to allow the shoe to fit. It's just a long, it's a Trigger Tech trigger, but the trigger shoe is just long as shit for some reason. So this is milled out just a little bit. I had to just order an ARCA rail. So there's going to be an ARCA rail that goes on here. One of our sponsors for the trip to Calgary is Two Vets Tripods. They're a partner of ours at Funker. They're shipping us some tripods to take some footage of up there. But they shipped them only with ARCA attachment. So I had to rush order an ARCA rail to put underneath of this, which is going to change how I attach my bipod as well. This is attached on a Picatinny. This optic has been changed out. I have the same optic on there, just it's now a mil. It's now MRAD rather than MOA. Something I learned up at the, and I actually wrote this over here. Here, soon to be replaced. Something I learned up at the ELR match that I went to. This is the same rifle. It just wasn't painted at this time. Is MRAD is the language of precision. So just walking you through who some of these people are, like, 'cause these are good, fantastic people. This is Travis, salt of the earth kind of dude, man's man, if you will, just an awesome human being. This is John. John is with KRG, former SOTIC instructor, Army sniper, 18 series Special Forces sniper, and again SOTIC instructor. This is Ben. Ben works at KRG too. These guys are each owners of KRG. This is some fucking asshole. This is the owner of Thunder Beast suppressors. So Thunder Beast, you see the suppressor on there right next to my ding dong. Thunder Beast is considered to be kind of each of these suppressors you see on these other rifles is a Thunder Beast can. That is the cream of the crop for precision rifles. There is not a comparison. Thunder Beast is what you run. So they let me borrow a Thunder Beast Magnus, which actually has, God damn it, which actually has a muzzle brake on the side of it. And that thing sounds sweet, dude. So he's the owner of Thunder Beast. And this is Dudley Brown. Dudley is the president of the National Association for Gun Rights. So anyway, I replaced the optic on here. It's still a Viper PST, but it's now a PST in MRAD. 2-round quiver. This is the enclosed forend that they have, which allows me to run a clip-on of some kind without having to actually clip it onto the optic. Like I can just QD it to the rail. It previously, I don't think I have a... Actually, it looked a lot like this one. This is Pears's. So he's running the X-Ray chassis from KRG, but my forend looked a lot like this one, so it didn't cover the barrel at all. He's got a Harris bipod on there, and a tripod and a Kestrel. He's got a Spore set of rings, though. Those are nice fucking rings. Spendy rings. That's first focal, right? Yeah. What's the load and dress weight? I don't know. I haven't even looked at that yet. You hunt game? No, not since I was younger. I haven't hunted since I was in my teens. A lot of... I already read that one. Stock's pretty nice. Love the layout. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this rifle. I mean, I built it, so... hopefully I would be. But this is a sub-half minute gun, so for it to shoot 147s, which are supposed to have a better BC than the 140s, at around a minute in comparison to a half of a minute, that was disappointing. So I'm gonna I've got a scheduled trip up to a range in West Virginia, and it's not really scheduled. I'm just going to go up there and see if I can shoot. And I'm going to spend some time out at 1,000 and seeing if I can repeat hits at 1,000 with the 147s, because that's what's going to matter. And we ordered that shit in bulk too. And both Funker and I have had accuracy issues with 147s. So Funker runs a Tika in attack day 1. Let me see if I can find a picture of Funker's rifle. Attack A1 6.5. So this is quite literally Funker's rifle. This is the exact rifle that he runs. Why can't I zoom here? Whatever. This is his gun. Stop. He loves it. He shoots it like, I don't know, something like 0.3 MOA. This is a fantastic gun. Anyway, I'm going to go up there tomorrow and see if I can get repeated hits at 1,000. I'll also probably take the 11.5. I haven't zeroed that yet. 1,000 is reaching out and touching things. Yeah, so I've run this rifle at 1,200. Repeated hits on a mover. 4 miles an hour, the size of a fox at 1,200. That was awesome. Getting the chance to learn from people on how to do that was amazing. I have a cheap DPMS. I've only used a bore snake on it, cleaned the bolt carrier. Been sitting in my closet for over a year. I'm looking into a PSA for a new rifle. I'll tell you what rifle I want from PSA. I am gun broke right now because I've ordered too much shit for this trip. Like I refreshed my ruck. I got the Kestrel and all that stuff to get further and further down into precision. Anyway, I'll show you what rifle I want from PSA. One of the Sabres. I want the Super Sass. Not that one. Stupid idiot. I just got a message from Funker, actually. Where is it? Ah, here it is. I wouldn't hate having this rifle. I need a gas gun. I want and this has the Law Tactical folder on it too. This is a Father's Day special that they have going on right now. Ugh. Damn it, Bobby. Yeah, I wouldn't hate having this rifle. I have a 308 right now. It's actually on the wall behind me. Let's see. So the top gun up there is a 308, is a Remington 700 in actually the old Cadex chassis. But I want a 308 gas gun to turn into basically a hog gun. That's what I want. Have you considered reloading? Yeah, I don't have the money to get into it right now. I know that as an eventuality that saves me money. It's the upfront cost. That upfront cost is what's ultimately keeping me out of it. Getting the presses, getting the dies, and all that stuff. How much ammo do you have for target hitting? Nice try. Not enough. Not enough at all. Love the back-to-back streams. What's your favorite battle rifle? I don't know. Probably this, like the SAS or something like that. You know, I was only ever shooting M4s, so I haven't shot a whole lot of gas guns beyond 5.56. So that's a difficult one. Got 338? Nope, I don't have a 338. The biggest and most capable gun I have is the Cadex. That is my most capable platform from a distance perspective. Yeah, I'm grabbing a beer. Enjoy this. Bye. Give me a second. Hello. I went potty too. Anyway, it's 9:30. Holy shit! Starting 50. How much later did we start the Funker show tonight? Oh, it was a whole 30 minutes later, wasn't it? I started at 18:30 Eastern. Gross. I'm just checking through. I had a message from Funker. So he actually just got a new platform that he's going to put into another KRG chassis. And I'm super jealous. Check 1, 2. What about now? What the fuck? It all just decided to stop working. I touched my mic and it muted. Oh, I hope the cable isn't going bad. Ugh, fuck, man. You know, I spend so much time worrying about the content of like the Funker show and stuff. My stream PC is on its last leg. My equipment is almost all like 5-6 years old at this point. I really need to invest in updating all of it. The audio setup on the Funker side is new. That's all new shit. Like as a company, we invested in that. But this side of the house, shit, that's been neglected big time. Download more RAM. That's actually how I fixed the stream PC. So the stream PC had been blue screening on me. This one, hold on. Do I have audio here? Yeah, I do. So that's the stream PC. That bad boy's been blue screening. There's my gym. And I couldn't figure out why. Well, the memory failed. I had to replace the memory on it. Come here. Oh, now the mic's falling off. What are you drinking tonight? This is just a Michelob. We were talking about fitness stuff earlier. I don't like beer enough to drink the beer that I like the most, which is Vienna. So my favorite beer is from Devil's Backbone. It's called Vienna Lager, and it is the best beer I can. In my brain, when somebody says you want a good beer, Devil's Backbone pops into my brain. What the fuck was that? I don't even know what that was. So now I drink basically super low calorie beer, just to have a beer. No, Mosin. That's on the list. Oh, fuck. That reminds me. I've got other shit on the list. Ugh. Fuck. There's stuff I need to hurry up and order, so that way it gets here by the trip. We're updating our mobile production kit too. So like lapel mics. There's a pair of DJI lapel mics that I need to get. That's the sound your PC makes when someone's getting plugged in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't plug anything in. It does weird shit, dude. I don't know. Running low on audio fluid. Is it quiet? What about now? I'm clear. I do think it's funny that I always mute myself, though. There's a broken connection or a bad connection. Yeah, well, I'll figure it out eventually. What's your suggestion on an EDC pistol? I have two specific suggestions. I would either suggest the G48 or the P365. Those two. Everybody's going to have their suggestion. What about this or what about that? He asked for my suggestion. It would be the G48 or the P365. The P365 being a new favorite of mine. I don't have one. Josh has one. I shot it and I love it. And I want it real bad. Yeah. The Legion specifically. That's the one you want. Hey, look, a rocket. What? The rockets. Oh, your rocket. Yeah. What's up, CJ? From Scotland. My family's from Scotland. Like, if I trace my family heritage, don't laugh. Don't laugh. Because I actually get really into history. There's a reason I was so excited to have a TV show on history. If I trace my family's history, it goes two directions. One side, very, very direct to Scotland. The other side, very, very direct French-Canadian. Like, so Funker never lets me live that down. Red Rocket? Yeah. Yeah. I got to scroll back through the comments here for a minute. As long as you have ammo, you can have fun at home. Yeah, but I never have enough ammo. I inventoried my ammo not too long ago, and the situation was way more dire than I expected it to be. Like, bad. I was looking at, I thought I had more. I shoot more than I shot more of it than I thought I would, though. I don't know that I really want to play any games tonight. When I don't play games, I should do this on the gun channel. You know, when it's an entire night conversing about fitness stuff and guns, why not just go live on that channel? I don't know why I didn't do that. I have this fantasy that I'm going to kick back and play games, but sometimes I just don't feel like it anymore, you know? What's bad off on ammo? Like, I'm sub 200 rounds on some of my calibers. Like, I don't have enough. My favorite lift? I mean, if we're talking like Olympic lifts, probably the deadlift. I'm a fan of the deadlift. I prefer doing that than benching or squatting. It's your moment. What? I can relate, but yeah, that's pretty low. Yeah, it is. Granted, that's for shit that I don't shoot. Like, that's 45. I own one 45 firearm. That's it. And I think I have like 160, 170 rounds for that. I'm not even going to use that. Like, that's not what I'm grabbing at any point. There's no circumstance, unless I can't find anything else, then I get all the way down into, you know, the area that I keep all my guns, which isn't here, believe it or not. That's not what I'm grabbing. So, yeah, probably deadlift. That's a hard question, though. My favorite lift. I don't know that I would have one, but if you had to pick one kind of deal, probably the deadlift. Oh, I like the squat too. I don't like the flat bench. What the fuck? What is that? Nothing's being plugged in. Just go with the flow, Ron. On the save made, it got a nice, whatever studio, like, I feel like it sometimes. Sweet just hanging out sometimes, rather loving the show. Oh, thanks for hanging out for a bit. Yeah. I mean, I've always used this stream as kind of a way to connect with people. Normally, I mean, I don't know how many people are watching, but if we were all in a room, I'd be at the back. So this is kind of my opportunity to talk to people and be cordial and social. I don't have any reason to be in the back. I don't like talking to people. So it's weird. The missus laughs at me all the time because I can get here and I can talk for the whole fucking 2 hours, 3 hours. I just chat with you guys. But however, if like I'm in a social setting, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want anything to do with that. It's got nothing to do with, like, you know, I don't know what it is. This is my opportunity to talk to people. Bed cord as bread. Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be something data oriented to. Maybe it's the phone. I bet it's the phone. In public, you're quiet. Yeah. Guarantee you have shortened the keyboard or something. I'm betting it's the phone. Watch this. So what's happening is the phone is charging right now, right? So it'll lose a little bit of charge and it'll start charging. And that is what is keying the sound. And then it'll stop charging because it's full and then it'll shut back down. Be-doop, be-doop, be-doop. That's what it is. See? Yep. Really smart. Really smart. What do you guys think of the Funker show tonight? And the specificity that I went into some of the footage. That's something that's been itching at my brain. I've been thinking about that since it was happening. Like, was it too roundaboutsy or was it, did it make sense? What's up, Maddox? Funny shit, I watch it on my TV, but I talk to you on my phone. Yeah, do you do the, like, it's up on the TV, but you're chatting in the chat on the phone? That's funny. The variety of clips. I'm speaking to New Surat. Did it make sense what I was trying to say? Because I don't think I was as articulate as I'd like to be on that. You can understand how casualties from, quote, Palestinian side started to mount as things started going south. You know what I mean? So people look at that at a very face value. They're like, oh, they saved 4 but killed 200. Like, yeah, well, at a bare minimum, a quarter of those were Hamas fighters. Bare minimum. That's not to say that it couldn't be half, 3/4. I don't know. I mean, Israel's pretty adamant that it was mostly Hamas fighters that were killed. And all you see is Palestinians. That's all it says. Palestinians. Right? Hamas are Palestinians. Right? Just keep in mind. But I don't think the context of how south things really went was understood by people. And I think that's what I was trying to relay. Is you have this Mogadishu-esque situation where like dominoes started falling. And then at the tail end of that, you have basically the decision to go, like I said on the stream, weapons free across just about every capability. Just get your team out, right? If you don't, so look at that from a different perspective. If you don't, then you effectively didn't do everything that you could to get your team out and to get your hostages out. How do you not make that call? I heard IDF soldiers say there was 300 plus Hamas fighters there at one point. That's a lot. That'd be a lot. I'm not saying it's impossible. That'd be a lot. A lot. I think there's this weird balance that's really difficult to articulate because on one end of the spectrum, you're going to piss off somebody. On the other, you're going to piss off someone else. In a sense, people entirely, from a certain perspective, unrelated to the operation itself, were killed in the operation, right? Is what it is. Like that's the reality. That's why war is the crime, though. And I don't think that's enough for people to understand. They're like, well, they shouldn't have done it. Well, what do? Leave the hostages there? What do? Leave the team there? that you sent there to rescue the hostages? Do you not call in the airstrikes and get the entire 28-member team killed? You know what I mean? That's why war is the crime. Because of those hard decisions, because of that inevitability, that the unfortunate reality of it is that innocents will be killed in the process of it. But how do you articulate that without devaluing the life of one person over another? This is everybody has that shit that keeps them up, that they think about all the time. Like what keeps me up is, how do I articulate the very complex decision to make that decision? I don't know. Because it's kind of like an abstract painting. I can see that decision point happening. I could see, just drawing on my own experience, all of the IDF in a room, and they're like, fuck, the team's bogged down. If we launch these airstrikes, a bunch of innocents are going to get killed. But if we don't, they're not going to get out. And then our team's all going to die. The hostages are going to die. It's all going to be worth nothing. Well, I can see that happening in my mind's eye, in my head movies. But I have a hard time figuring out a way to articulate that, to distill that into words, How much would the IDF have planned that contingency they ended up needing to execute? Pretty heavily, probably. You got to remember, they were aware of that location and intelligence May 12th. So May 12th, they knew that was at least the general location. And hold on. Yeah. the Funker show is unscripted, but so is this. This is even more so. I'll show you guys the article that kind of breaks that down. Check this out. Some of the details here are just crazy. So this low-vis team, I didn't even scratch the surface on what they did. Here's that article, if you want to read it. Open it up in your browser or something. Jolene. That's that article. This is the article. It's from the Jerusalem Press, the Jewish Chronicle. It breaks this down at a level of detail that I just didn't expect. This is a wild read, man. All the way down to how many people were a part of that low-vis team, what they were doing. And if you lose that link, it's on. I summarized it here on Twitter. I'm a big fan of Twitter. I'm going to keep saying that. I love Twitter. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody makes a movie out of this operation. I was astounded by some of the details here. They would have planned top to bottom just about every aspect of this. They would have had that contingency ready to execute at just about any point. Somebody said 100% Nickelback. Oh, the Panasonics? No! Look at this photograph. Oh, man. Dude. Oh, that video is hilarious. You can't, as in you can't distill that. No, there's a way. There's a way. Because I see the comments, dude. If that matters. Like, I'll check the comments from the Funker stream after the VOD in the comments section afterwards. Matter of fact, let's do that right now. Let's do that live. Let's see what the comment section looks like on the Funker show. All right, we're going here. Why is that like that? Hold on, let me fix this. I'm an idiot, by the way. That's not it. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm trying to fix something. There we go. Oh, kill streak, you're awesome. Shut the fuck up. Combat footage. Stupid idiot. There we go. All right. What do we got here? 100% of call to fire. Okay. All right, these are not as spicy as I expected them to be. That's interesting. This interests me very much. Being forced to read the Quran is enforced conversion, which would be against the Geneva Convention. Is that true? Well, like which convention and which protocol? Because everybody says like it's against the Geneva Convention, like it's Ricky Bobby or something, but the Geneva Convention is a series of conventions and protocols. That's not true. Too loud, never. Okay, well, the comments weren't very spicy at all. And the live chat's still there, so that's what matters. Look at that stupid mark on my forehead. Have you tried NASA's firms? Yeah, certainly. Yeah, that shows all the fires. Yep. Oh, yeah. Maybe they're noise canceling. The Panasonics. The stupidest shit ever. Why the fuck's he got Panasonics on his head? Ugh. There's an Afghan military? Yes, the Taliban now. Which is going to be comprised of a lot of former A&A that are now Taliban military, which they're now calling the Afghan military, but it's effectively the Taliban. Our outer cordon at Kabul International Airport, which I've been to many times, like many times. I've driven to Kabul International. That is a very, very difficult place to secure, by the way. Not easy. Was that the one where she talks about like 40 million a week or a month or some shit like that to the Taliban? I'd be interested to source that, to find where that is in the budget. On the Sean Ryan show. Fan of his, by the way. Huge fan. Like I want to dive further into that. We're paying like restitution or death gratuity, like death funds to any deceased Taliban member that we shot. I only saw I'll say it again. I don't get a chance to watch a lot of other shows. I just don't have the time between my Funker work and dad stuff. I just don't have the time. So I'm typically only able to catch clips. Get her on the podcast. I don't know that our podcast is a great destination. Maybe eventually, but at least the design right now is folks that have their own combat footage that can talk about their experience. A week? It's not a week, is it? No, it's like monthly or yearly. What's the date? What's the date range of that? Surrounded by mountains on every side, wasn't it? I wouldn't say that. I mean, Bagram was more kind of surrounded by high ground than Kabul, than Kaya. I mean, Kaya had Kabul around, well, to the south of it. So, Kabul International Airport. Let me see if I can find it, actually. I'll show you guys. Yeah, okay. So let's turn on the layers here. All right, so here's Camp Eggers. This is where I was stationed. Here. This place is fucking cleaned out, dude. Cleaned out. There used to be big hard stand buildings all through here. That's where the barracks were. This is our little compound. Kaya is on the northern end. So Camp Phoenix was somewhere up here. I want to say down this road. Maybe. Anyway, we would make regular trips up to Kaya. Up here. But I mean, yeah, I guess you could say it's kind of surrounded on three sides by high ground. But, I mean, it's not really, from a targeting perspective, all that close. These northern mountains are. $40 million a week? No. Yeah, Camp Eggers wasn't big. And then you had NKC not too far away. I don't remember where NKC was. But we would we'd make trips kind of all around Kabul. This would have been 2013 or so. I'm surprised. I'm just so amazed that there's nothing here. There was nothing but buildings. Because this used to be like high-end housing. So the lore behind Camp Eggers, it was high-end housing that we just kind of took over. Like the Camp Eggers commander's house was like this fucking villa. It had a pool. The pool was empty, but it was like a really nice house at one time. And there used to be kind of this walking path. I don't remember where it was. That would take you all the way to the embassy area. I think it was down this road. So I used to do a lot of like PSD for our colonel. Because she would like to go to the embassy to eat chow. So you'd have to leave and then come all the way down here. But it was non-drivable in those areas. This is just amazing. I haven't looked at this in a while. What the fuck? What is this? Yeah, they tore everything down. This is a gate. Huh. Weird. I wonder if they have like updated imagery of Bagram. Huh. So this is the building that I lived in Bagram. I haven't looked at this shit in a long time. But this building here. We used to hang out on this roof. This was our jock at the time. So I was attached to Ranger, and this was the operations center, I think. I think that or this was. It's this. Yeah, 100% this building. But the gym was here. One of the gyms. The other gym was down here-ish. Maybe this. But anyway, this was the operations center. This was our building. This was where we would all chill on this roof. And the Afghans in this little village over here, well, in the rest of Bagram, will come out here and fucking hunt, like with their shotguns and shit. The first time that happened, my buddy and I, we were on this roof looking out this way, just hanging out. And this fucking Afghan walks up with his like double barrel shotgun shooting at birds. So we lost our shit, dude. We're like, that guy's shooting at us. And the guards in this thing, they were waving. They were like, it's fine. Stop. He's fine. I'll never forget that, man. Just relax. My buddy and I are like, what the fuck? What kind of kit would you recommend for the average guy? Let's say I need to move my family away from danger zone. What can I use not only for my personal armor, but for my family? There's a lot of kit can mean a lot of different things. I don't know. You're talking about rifle, armor, plate carrier, helmet, all that stuff. Yeah, that's what you're seeing here. And then so we would go. Yeah, so here's the gate. So this would have been where, Ranger and crew were here, way back in the day. And then down this road, there was like a Afghan restaurant here that had closed down. But this was actually this is where we would go to eat a lot of times. This is all so interesting. It looks the same. There's definitely new vehicles. These are Taliban vehicles at this point. There was a smaller gym too, though. Right here-ish. No. I don't know. This is where we used to get haircuts. There was a barber in here. Basic body armor? Yeah, so that's going to be a balance, right? So do you want the highest capability or do you want the lightest? Do you want the balance? So something like a hybrid with a steel strike face but a ceramic or a polyethylene backer. The steel's going to slow everything down. It's hear me out. So all steel armor, all steel always runs the risk of spall or fragmentation. A lot of companies will mitigate that by using what's called a build-up coating that will catch the spall. I'm a big fan of hybrid armor because steel is really heavy and ceramic is heavy. So I'm a fan of hybrids that use a steel strike face that slows the round down. It'll hit the steel strike face, but it'll still penetrate that. And then a polyethylene backer. So that polyethylene backer will catch the round. And because of the steel strike face that had slowed it down so much, you get a lot less back face deformation, which imagine being punched, than you would if it was all polyethylene. So somebody that makes hybrid armor, I think Armored Republic is one of the only ones that does, but they're not. I'm sure there's others out there. Like I have theirs and it's great. I shot it very close with 308. Very little back face deformation to the point to where it almost is like I shot it with 9mm or something. I shot polyethylene from LAPG and it looked like a fucking grapefruit out the backside. It still stopped it. It still didn't penetrate it. But that steel strike face really stopped or slowed, took away a lot of the energy of that round. So that's going to be the balance between steel or ceramic which is going to be your heavier armor. It's going to either be steel, AR-500 steel, is still really only level 3 capable. Ceramic, especially a multi-hit ceramic, is going to be level 4 from a NIJ perspective. But NIJ is weird. Like, everybody is like big on, is it NIJ certified? I actually prefer that my armor is third-party tested to NIJ standards rather than NIJ certified. Hear me out. When you certify a plate with the NIJ under NIJ standards, you are no longer able to modernize that, to improve on it. You can't change the adhesive. You can't change anything about it. So what I prefer is, NIJ plates are great. Certified plate, that means you know that it's been certified. What I prefer, though, regardless of if it's certified by the NIJ or not, is that the manufacturer publishes their third-party testing results. So if a third-party lab says, hey, this is armor that we tested against in a controlled environment, because NIJ testing requires a controlled environment. If you're doing your testing as a fucking influencer in your backyard, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. I don't care who did it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I do it or influencer, gun influencer number 1 does it. It doesn't count. I don't give a shit what they found from it. Third-party testing lab in a controlled environment to the specific standards that the NIJ certifies things to. I don't care necessarily that it's NIJ certified, but did they test it in a third-party lab to that? Look for that data. There's a reason that I like hardhead veterans, and there's a reason that no matter what helmet I'm a fan of theirs on, whether it's the imported one or the American-made one, they publish their test results. It doesn't matter to me from a performance perspective where it's made. I prefer and only run my US-made helmet now, but I trust in the capabilities of all of their helmets because they publish that data. That's what matters the most. What am I watching? A game or a simulation? This is a simulation. All of life is a simulation. We're all part of somebody pulling the strings. Milsurp armor any good? Armor does have a shelf life, especially ceramics. What helmet would you recommend? Hardhead veterans. ! HHV. I save you. There's so going all the way back to like my affiliate relationships. There's a reason that I have these relationships because I believe in them. If you use my code, I might make a little bit of money, but it doesn't pay the bills, man. It might buy me a box of ammo. I don't care if you use it or not. But if you do decide to use my codes for whether it be hardhead or multivitamins or I don't know, stints. It's just to save you money because I don't rely on it to pay my bills. Doesn't matter to me one way or another. Just understand that when I have these relationships, it means I believe in whatever it is. Thank you. That was very informative. Yeah. So a lot of people will say, well, it's not NJ certified. I don't like it. Well, but they do publish their third-party lab results. So, I mean, it's tested to NIJ capabilities. Yeah, but if they didn't pay the, $10,000 to go through the process to have it certified, I don't give a shit if the government told them that it was good. I don't care. I like the government's testing criteria. That's cool. So here's the data that shows that it's been tested against that. Right? It's such a weird fucking double-edged sword for me. People are like, don't trust the government. And they're like, only buy NIJ certified armor. Fuck. Which one is it? Pick one. What's the difference between different packages for the HHV helmets? I'll field that. That's easy. So it's not different packages. This will be the last thing. Then I need to go eat. I'm hungry. It's not different packages. It's different helmets. So they actually have a ton of data on here. And for those that are, so Josh is like the HHV logo just popped up a second ago. Josh is an employee at HHV. So I have like access to any information I want to know. But they aren't different packages. They're different helmets. It's different styles of helmet. They all look the same, but they're all very, very different. So first of all, I absolutely love the fact that you can easily identify which ones are made in the USA. So this should be the ATE. This is the Gen 3. This is their newest helmet that's out right now. This helmet, from a make perspective, is going to be the same as this helmet. This helmet is going to be cheaper because it's made overseas, specifically China. From a performance perspective, they are going to perform the same to a certain perspective, right? Like if we were to go into this helmet, which is the imported helmet, and we were to go to performance and specs, you can read all of the third-party data right here. No penetration, no penetration, no penetration, right? They publish their data. That's what matters, right? And there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tests that you can look up to see the capabilities of the helmet. Again, my preference though, this helmet is $566 and it's made in China. This helmet is made of the same materials, except it's American materials and it's made in America, is $799. I'm going to probably pick this one. But from a performance perspective, they're not far from each other, and each meet technically the NIJ certification standards. Now, here's where it gets weird with helmets. There is no NIJ certification standard for helmets. None. There is no NIJ certification for helmets. What they're typically tested to is NIJ level 3A, which is up to 44 Magnum. There are also no rifle-rated helmets. You can get rifle-rated attachments for helmets. So if you think that your helmet's going to protect you, no matter who you buy it from, I don't care if it's Ops, Core, Team Wendy, it doesn't matter. It's not rated for It's not rated for rifle. So this is going to, I believe this is the Aramid. What's included? Hold on. They're just made of different materials. But from a capability perspective, they're going to be slightly different. My helmet, the helmet that I run, is the ATE Light. This is my helmet. This one specifically. Right here. This is my helmet. It's in green. This is what I run now. But if you're more of a fan of the Mitch or a Bump, so this is non-ballistic. Like, this is a great looking helmet. I would wear this because I'm a fan of like the over ear protection. Yeah, there's no reason to have a high cut helmet. There's not. I'll just run in-ears with comms on them. I don't care. I don't need to have contacts. Like, I can run in-ears with a mic and attach that to my Baofeng and still be good. But everybody wants a high-cut helmet because that's what special operations teams have. Because they have the attached cans that you can fold down. But them cans aren't bullet resistant, dude. You take a round in the cans, it's going to go through your fucking ear. Wouldn't you class not publishing data as dishonest? No. No. I would say it's a little bit below the belt, but I wouldn't say it's totally dishonest. Right? I mean, you go to Ops Core and you go to Team Wendy and they're not publishing their data. Josh and the team at Hardhead Veterans can't say that, but I'm not afraid to. What the fuck are they going to do to me? Sue me? Good. Why? I'll give you my wallet. There's nothing in it. You can have it. They're not publishing their data. They're also not testing for backface deformation. Josh and the team there, I told them, I was like, guys, I know you did the testing at the third party with their helmets, and they can't publish it. They can't publish it. But they outperformed both of those helmets with their American-made line. Fuck. Is your helmet pretty light? Yeah, I mean, Not as light as not helmet. But I mean, how much does a helmet matter to you? You know, I think you should have one. You know, just for the sake of being able to have one. There are states that are banning armor and the ownership of armor right now, which is fucking ridiculous. So I have one just to say that I have one. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If the worst hit tomorrow and I grabbed all my shit that I intend to grab, the helmet's low on the list. It is. It's not it's not high. More so meant for fragmentation. Yeah, so, I mean, that's the other thing that for some reason they just don't. I mean, I think they do talk about it. If you follow their socials, they talk about it quite a bit. But they have multiple saves from, like, fragmentation from anti-tank guided missiles in Ukraine. Like, multiple. Not just one. I mean, like, a lot. A lot. In fact, Yuri. Most of you guys are familiar with Nuckenfut's Yuri. The one where he gets hit with a Cornet missile. He's in the dark and he's looking around. He's like, what's that light? And then a Cornet smacks into his Humvee. Doc, the guy that was sitting in his front right passenger seat, got real jacked up. But the majority of all of the frag towards the helmet, so he took some frag in the face where the helmet wasn't protecting him, but all the frag that the helmet took, none of it penetrated. This is from a Cornet anti-tank guided missile. HHV is a good fucking helmet. And there are still absolutely people out there that talk a lot of hot shit about HHV without knowing anything of what they're talking about. They don't take any time to research it. They just operate off of old ass videos. And this is why I say I don't care what influencer it is. Old ass videos of an influencer shooting something point blank. Like, I had it out with that guy one time on Twitter. And he has since, I'm not going to go into, he has since kind of retracted all that. And he and HHV are on very good terms now. Like, very, very good terms. I think there was a time period with HHV where they weren't as open about where they were importing their helmet from. And I think if they would have kind of owned it a little bit more at the time, people would have a different perspective. But I mean, you can click on the imported helmet and it tells you where it's made in. Right here. People say that it's like false business practice or something. But here's the thing. All of their data is published, right? It says it right there. Overseas in China. All of their data is published. If you want to know how it performs and why it's so cheap. So it's so cheap because it's made in fucking China. But if you want to look at all of their capability data, or if you don't want to deal with that, that's fucking fine. They launched that helmet made in the United States. Ronnie, maybe you do a comparison of theirs and Josh's company helmets. You can publish the results, right? I tried to convince Josh to let me do that. I don't have the personal platform that would really be helpful to that, I think. I think they tried to get like some of the bigger names or whatever to publish that stuff. But I don't know where it went. I don't know. I asked. I was like, let me do it. Dude, I will fucking scream that shit from here to from the top of mountains. Because that's important. That's a big deal. That is a major, major deal. If you publish that test data, and the reason they don't is they're still the little guy, right? These are major corporations that have the backing of multi-billion-dollar government contracts. Hard Hat Veterans has like 20 employees. Like, they're not, it's like a veteran-run 20-employee company. And people are looking at them like it's some kind of conglomerate. If shit hits fan, I'd grab my tactical Panasonics. I got my bows here. That's what I'm going for. Guys, I'm done. It's almost 10:30. I need to eat. I think there's spaghetti upstairs. So I'm gonna smash that. Got a long week. I got a long day tomorrow of shooting, I think, as long as I can get all my shit together and get out the door in time, because it's like an hour and a half away. So I hope you're following on Twitter. That's where I spend the majority of my time. I would love to do more stuff on YouTube. It's just from a squeeze perspective, it's just so nuanced and complicated. It's really hard to do. But Twitter's easy as fuck. You know, I could publish something. It's going to go to it. People are going to see it. And that doesn't matter to me outside of the fact that when I put something out, it's because I want those that are following to see it. I don't care if like a billion people see it. Like that, I feel like that can be misconstrued. But YouTube like holds things close to the chest and then might let other folks see it. The big issue is on Funker. People are following Funker so that they can see the footage of what's going on the ground. And YouTube is like holding that shit close to the chest and not allowing people to see it. We fucking hate that. That's why there's a chance that we might end up adding Twitter to the mix for a simultaneous stream and then potentially even eventually doing it only on Twitter. Well, we'll see how that works. But anyway, got to put on the tactical sandals. My flappers should be around here somewhere. Just saying. I was running and gunning in flappers before Nolan was. So I hope he's out there, and I hope this gets clipped and sent to him. We can fight if you want, Nolan. Do you run any nods? I have Photonis Vipers. Yes, sir. A bunch of footage of that on my Instagram, I think. Anyway, I'm out of here. Be good tonight. Be good over the weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday and then probably Thursday. Friday is going to be a day for me to pack out because I got to be up and at the airport early. Just put it that way. I love y'all. Go be great. And we'll see y'all on Tuesday for hopefully some games. I don't know. If you want to chat, we can chat instead. Good night. Go be great.
Good night, ladies. Good night, sir.
Bye-bye. Fuck is that?